The little girl's voice barely rose above the noise of the city street, but her words struck harder than any boardroom confrontation he had ever faced. Here's $50. I just need a dad for one day. Ethan Blackwood, billionaire CEO of Blackwood Industries, stopped mid-step. The world-famous man, accustomed to private jets, flashing cameras, and people begging him for favors, slowly looked down. Standing in front of him was a small girl, no older than 8, clutching 2 crumpled $20 bills and a 10. Her shoes were worn, her dress faded, but her eyes were steady. Not desperate. Hopeful. For the first time in years, Ethan felt something crack inside his chest. He hadn't planned on walking today. He never did. But after another sleepless night alone in his glass mansion, he had asked his driver to let him out early, needing air, needing silence. What he found instead was this child, offering him everything she had. I'm not that kind of man, he said carefully, his voice stiff, trained by decades of authority. She nodded quickly, as if she had expected resistance. I know you're busy. My mom said rich people don't have time. But I don't need much. Just one day. Ethan looked around, half expecting a camera crew, a prank, or someone watching from the shadows. There was no one. Just the girl, the sidewalk, and a strange weight pressing on his heart. Why? He asked, her fingers tightened around the money. Tomorrow is my school's family day. Everyone brings their dad. I don't have one. The words landed softly, but they echoed painfully inside him. Neither did he, at least not the kind that stayed. Ethan's father had been a brilliant man, ruthless, demanding, emotionally distant. Love had been replaced by expectations. Approval had always been just out of reach. When Ethan finally took over the company, his father died 3 months later. They had never reconciled. Success had come, but peace never followed. He had money, power, influence, everything except warmth, and now a child stood before him, asking for the one thing he had never learned how to be. I can't, he said automatically. The girl's shoulders dropped, but she didn't cry. She simply nodded, folded the bills back into her pocket, and whispered, okay. Thank you for stopping anyway. She turned to leave. Something in that moment, her quiet acceptance, her dignity, broke through the walls Ethan had built for decades. Wait, he said. She stopped, slowly turning around. One day, he repeated, unsure why he was saying it. Just one. Her eyes widened, filling with light so bright it startled him. Really? She asked. You promise? He hesitated, then nodded. What's your name? Lily, she said. What's yours? Ethan. She smiled. Nice to meet you, Dad. I mean, Mr. Ethan. Sorry. For reasons he couldn't explain, that single word, Dad, felt heavier than any title he had ever carried. The next morning, Ethan stood awkwardly outside Lily's small apartment building. He wore a simple sweater instead of a suit, his watch hidden under his sleeve. He felt exposed, like a man stripped of his armor. Lily ran toward him, her backpack bouncing, her smile unstoppable. Her mother, Anna, followed closely, suspicion written across her face. I don't understand this, Anna said quietly as Lily skipped ahead. Who are you, really? Ethan met her gaze honestly. Just someone who said yes. Family Day was held in the school courtyard. Fathers laughed with their children, lifting them onto shoulders, tying shoelaces, fixing crooked hair. Ethan felt like an imposter. He didn't know what to do with his hands. He didn't know how to kneel, how to listen, how to belong, but Lily didn't care. She held his hand as if it were the most natural thing in the world. She introduced him proudly. She laughed loudly. She leaned against him during the presentations, as if she had done so 1,000 times before. When she stood on stage for the My Hero activity, Ethan expected embarrassment. Instead, Lily spoke clearly. My hero is my dad, she said, pointing to him. He showed up. The applause was loud. Ethan barely heard it. His vision blurred, his throat tightening as something unfamiliar slid down his cheek. Tears. After school, Lily asked if they could get ice cream. Ethan said yes without hesitation. Then she asked if they could go to the park. Yes again. Then she asked if he could push her on the swing. He did and laughed. For the first time in years, the laughter reached his eyes. As the sun dipped lower, Lily grew quiet. Will you go now? She asked softly. Ethan felt a sharp ache. I guess I have to. She nodded. Thank you for being my dad today. He walked her home, his steps heavier with each one. At the door, Anna spoke again, her voice gentler now. She hasn't smiled like this since her father passed away, she said. Whatever you did, thank you. Ethan nodded, unable to speak. That night, back in his mansion, the silence was unbearable. The walls felt colder. The success felt hollow. For the first time, he understood what had been missing all along. The next day, he returned, not with money. Not with gifts, with time. One day turned into weekends. Weekends turned into school events. Ethan learned how to braid hair badly, how to make pancakes unevenly, how to listen without fixing everything, and Lily taught him something no business ever could, that love isn't earned by achievements, but by presence. Months later, Ethan made a decision that shocked his board of directors. He stepped down as CEO, choosing to restructure the company to allow him a life beyond profit. He funded community programs for single-parent families, mentorship programs for children without fathers, and schools that focused on emotional growth, not just grades. At a charity event a year later, a journalist asked him, "What changed you?" Ethan looked at Lily, standing beside him, her hand in his. "A little girl once offered me $50, he said quietly. And gave me everything." That night, as he tucked Lily into bed, she looked up at him and asked, "Do you still want to be my dad?" Ethan smiled, tears in his eyes. Forever. And in that moment, the lonely millionaire CEO finally understood the greatest truth of all: sometimes, the richest thing you can be, is someone who shows up.